Okay, let's call this meeting to order if we could. Okay, first order of business would be the minutes. The minutes from the special meeting, April 28th. That was when I presented the budget at the last meeting. Entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I can hear you.
I'll make that motion, Judge, to approve the minutes.
Motion by Gary.
Second.
Who was that, Keith?
No, Jeff.
Who was that to second it? Somebody's got some background music going on or something here.
Yeah. I'll second it, Judge.
Okay, second by Jeff. Jeanette, we'll make sure you have that. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carries. Go to the next order of, next set of minutes was the April 21st meeting. We made an adjustment on that, and Jeanette's defense on page 580. Sometimes it's kind of hard to, under these circumstances, get everything in the text that we need. So we adjusted where we talked about the special request from the Barstown Bourbon Company. I think we sent that to you yesterday by email. Everybody get that?
Yes.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the minutes then as presented.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Keith. Further discussion?
Yeah, did Matthew get everything worked out?
Yes, yes, he did.
Yes, Keith, we were satisfied with what we had, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Matthew.
All approved, say aye. Disapprove? And motion will carry. If you do not have your, I've got one guest here, or two guests, I don't know who they are. If you don't have your system muted, please do so. We've got some feedback, please.
Okay.
There's a number on here I don't recognize. And there was some background music, not music, but talk and chatter. Next will be your bills list and your additional bills list. You'll notice on your regular bills list, there are two large payments, one to the Bethlehem High School for the parochial transportation. The other is to Nelson County High School, to the Nelson County Public School Systems. We adjusted those down to include the fact that the last quarter of the school year was not in attendance, so it made it much less than usual. Usually that bill's about $200,000 between the two of them, and this year it's about $145,000 or $50,000. There's also some bills in there for some additional, some pretty significant blacktopping on the additional bills list. Bobby Mill Road. That Jeff, you had all kinds of funds involved in that deal.
Yeah, actually.
Yes. And that's a good thing, though. It makes it look like you're doing it this year. Nobody else to go get any.
Yeah.
Any questions?
None noted. I'll make the motion to pay the bills and transfers as presented.
Thanks, Keith. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Bernard Ice. All approved, say aye. Disapprove? And motion will carry. And while we're on bills, if you guys would entertain, I would like to ask you to, Mago's going to be doing some blacktopping between now and the next court meeting on projects that you've already approved. And I would like the court's permission to pay those bills once the invoice comes through and they're signed off by the engineer. Whereas I can get the cash flow turning faster before the end of the fiscal year. You've already approved these roads, like Wilkerson on Eric's, I think, is one, and Keith, you got Twin Hollow on yours, and there's several others scattered out. So I would ask fiscal court to approve those bills once the work gets completed.
Okay, I'll make the motion.
Motion by Keith. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Gary.
I'll make
Further
a motion,
discussion?
Judge.
Was there further discussion? All approve, say aye. Disapprove? Motion carry that. You have that, Rhonda?
Yes.
Yeah, that's important, turning that cash here at the end of the year. Okay, county clerk's report, Jeanette, you want to give us a little update on the election process?
Dane, before you go on,
Yes.
Yes, Jeff?
can, whoever the meeting host is, can they, whoever's making all that background noise? It's very hard to hear.
Yes, it is.
It looks like it's, phone called in, but
Yes.
does the meeting host have that ability?
Rhonda, can you do something with that phone call calling in?
I can try.
I agree with you, Jeff.
I think they just muted.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeanette.
Jeanette, you there?
Good morning.
Yeah, Jeanette, we just kind of have an update on what you're talking about in the election process.
Yes, I'd like to share some information on the upcoming primary election to be held June the 23rd. I have been directed by Secretary of State Michael Adams and Governor Andy Beshear to reduce our polling locations for this election only. We have a meeting with the county election board in the morning at 9 o'clock. We're going to discuss the process and procedures that we will be implementing for the June the 23rd election. I've got a few things that the state will be providing, so the county does not have this expense. Once we decide how many places that we are going to be running on June 23rd, the state will be supplying all of our personal protection equipment and disinfectant supplies for the location that the board chooses to open and the in-house voting at the clerk's office. We're now processing applications for the primary. Voters can call or email our office for the application. All in-person voters will need to sign the absentee application. Also, all the phone requests for applications will have to be signed. We will mail or email the application to the voter, whichever is easier to the voter. You will be able to call the office and request that we meet you outside to sign that application in order to speed this process up. In-person voting has to start by June the 8th, and my county board of election will decide tomorrow on a date when we want to open this. We want to strongly ask that every voter do early vote by mail. This is available now in the office. If you use by mail, it must be postmarked by June the 23rd. We will accommodate anyone who comes into the office wanting to do in-person vote by appointment. The state will be supplying us a locked drop box for anyone who wants to drop off a ballot inside the office, and this box will be placed where someone can see it at all times. I'm in the process of making a plan in case my office is open to the public at this time and we are exposed to COVID-19. The Clerks Association also is working closely with the governor with our concerns on opening up to the public. Our County Board of Elections will be coming up with some policies on how to handle situations that may arise with dealing with so many absentee ballots. Remember all, the primary is for party votes only. The state board will be sending out postcards in a few weeks to all voters with information about the changes for this election only. The postcards that are returned undeliverable will be sent back to the state board election. The state board will use these returned cards to clean up voter rolls in Kentucky. Envelopes for our county are being printed. Prepaid postage will be printed on the inner return envelope. Until I receive these envelopes from my vendor, my office will pay for this postage and the state will reimburse my office for any funds. We are doing this to protect the citizens of Nelson County, and I ask you guys for your help on getting people to follow along with the mail-in absentee, or, you know, if they decide to do in person, they can do it at my office, and in the poll that I have open, like I said, we'll decide that on tomorrow. We will have a committee formed of both parties that will be overseeing this procedure. I'm 100% confident in my office that this election will go as smooth as the others in the past. It's no different than the past elections with absentee and early voting at the office. It's just a lot more volume. We are having a lot of phone volume in our, high volume for our phones in our office. So anyone who wants to request a vote, we have the vote line only, and that's 502-348-1829. Again, bear with us on our phone lines. I'm in the making of doing, of getting a new phone system in our office, but we're having crazy, tremendous amounts of calls since we are shut down. But after we have our meeting in the morning, I'll get with the judge and we'll keep you all updated on anything we decide on this election. Thank you all.
Jeanette, will you be able to, once the Board of Elections decides, give us that information so we can put it on our websites?
Yes, definitely. As soon as we have a meeting in the morning, I'll get with you and you can get it to the magistrates and I'll get it as soon as we have that information.
Okay. And how about how many actual sites do you think will be open that day?
I'm going to let it be a Board of Elections because we've got to stick with this. I know a lot of the bigger counties that I've talked to, I know Oldham County with 67,000 citizens, they're having one polling place.
Wow.
It doesn't matter where you live. It's just like absentee voting. You come in and you vote. It's not going to be by precinct. I know another one is Henderson County, and she's doing one. It's just that I don't want to say a whole lot until I do talk to my board.
Okay. Okay. And you and I talked the other day about a possible site for that, and we'll hear from the board and see where it goes from there. And I thank you for all your efforts there, Jeanette, because I know this is quite a bit different than what we're used to, and I wish you the best.
Thank you for your help also.
You're welcome. Anybody got any questions for Jeanette directly? We'll move on then. Road Department report. First order of business on that, I've got a county road aid agreement. You guys get that annually. That's the money that I reported to you earlier that's been reduced by about $160,000 or so. I can't remember off the top of my head. And that's not a firm number. That can be adjusted based on the amount of revenue that's generated. Anybody got any questions on that? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve the resolution related to the county road aid program.
Make a motion to approve the resolution regarding the county aid program.
Jeanette Jeff Lear made that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Bernard Ice made a second there. All approve, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Next, I'm going to open bids on the Whiteside Road Culvert project, so bear with me. We're doing this live and in court because of where we are and what we're doing. This is a project that will replace a little small box culvert on Whiteside Road. Not replace, we'll actually add a box culvert. The first contractor is Churchill McGee out of Lexington. Brad asked me to do this in front of God and everybody. So bear with me.
Should just be a lump sum, Dean.
Do you have?
I have 5 different bidders.
Okay.
Okay. Churchill McGee's bid is $156,725. Jeanette, I'll give you copies, or we'll give you a rundown on all this as well. Everybody got that? 156,725. Next contractor is Todd Johnson Contracting out of Danville. I believe that's what it says.
What's the name of that company, Judge?
It's called Todd Johnson Contracting. Todd Johnson out of Danville. His bid is $55,882.74. $55,882.74. Next is Ram Contracting out of Springfield. They've done work for us before. Keith, they did that Bull Run project.
Yes.
Hang with me. I'll find the right page. I'm getting close. Okay. Ram is $99,450. $99,450 even. Next contractor is Galusha. They've done work for us before as well. They're out of Bowling Green.
Keith, they did that job on Higdon Loop for us.
Yes.
Somebody's little kid woke up. He's not a little Metcalf, is he?
No.
I believe he is. I see too big of a grin on that grandpa's face.
Yeah, he wants pet paw.
Okay, Galusha, $86,034. $86,034. And last but not least is Hornback Construction Company. We've done a lot of projects for us over the years. Hornback Construction Company is $56,250. $56,250. Everybody got that?
So guys, what I'll have to do is get those from Dean and review them. That Todd Johnson, I don't know. I'll have to check in on his qualifications and whatnot. Okay?
Okay. Oh, somebody's got a phone ring in there.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Okay,
So,
Lee, we'll go with your rest of your report.
You're not gonna, can you?
Okay, excuse me. We finished up some ditch work on Pembroke subdivision in District 2. We replaced 2 culverts on a section of Wilkerson Road that is scheduled to be repaved. We also replaced 4 more pipe on Coon Hollow Road in District 1. So both of these roads are now ready to go for Maygo. Last week, our great all was at the landfill. We were loading up tires to be hauled away for recycling. And most of those tires came from the bulky item pickup. While waiting for the tire trucks, our great all crew would go out and we was cleaning some ditch lines from tree debris in District 3. Try to stay fairly close to the landfill while we was waiting for those trucks. We've also started our chip sealing operations for the year. We were able to install the first layer on T. Bradley Road last week. Now we're currently fighting the rainy weather, and we're going to have some cold weather coming in this week as well. So we're going to be just working around Mother Nature to get all of our chip sealing done. I do have a crew on Ethel Smith Lane today. We're repairing some soft spots before we can chip seal that road. We've repaired I also repaired a couple of soft spots on Walter Hall Road. It's another road that is scheduled to be repaved. So we wanted to stabilize those areas before Mago repaved it. And we do have that road ready to go as well. Mobley Mill Road in District 4 was repaved last week, basically from South St. Gregory intersection to Lenore Road. And we started our roadside mowing yesterday, and we started that in District 5. That's all I have for this week.
Okay. Brad, do you have anything else to add on your end?
No, nothing urgent, no.
Is the new bush hog in?
That was the phone call that was ringing when we were in court. They're calling saying the second one is in. So they're trying to schedule bringing it over.
I'd like to, one thing, Judge, I'd like to thank Brad and Lee both on Pembroke. They did a great job out there, and I hope all the residents are happy with the.
Yes.
On now.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, Gary.
No questions or comments? We'll go to landfill solid waste report. John? You're muted, John. Let's see here. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rhonda might have had you muted.
Yeah.
You got a phone commercial. Now.
So like Lee said, we came out last week, got all our tires hauled off. We had 11 semi-loads of tires hauled off. So thanks again to Lee and Brad for helping us out with that. The roll-off truck we approved to purchase came in a week ago Friday, so that's been a big help. It's been busy with the roll-offs again. We got all the roll-offs out back to a waiting list, so it's good staying busy with that. But other than that, just normal operations and staying busy with everybody being home. Everybody has extra trash out, so it's been very busy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good-looking truck you got.
It was.
Thank you, guys. It's a big help.
It was a good-looking truck. So they drove it up in the garbage for the first time.
Hey, when it's clean, it's not making money.
I understand.
No, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we'll go to Joe's report, EMS report.
Guys, you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll start out with the EMA report, give you our current case. I emailed this out to the magistrates. I believe you all got a copy of it. Currently, it changed a little bit from last night when I emailed out. We do have 24 confirmed cases for Nelson County. One of those is a hospitalized case, which is the new case. 4 are at home isolation, and we have 19 folks that have recovered, which is a pretty good percentage. An update on our PPE supplies. We continually work daily to try to run down any possibilities of available supplies. Want to give a thank you to Representative McCoy, gave us a lead on some N95 masks in Louisville that we're going to pick up from a doctors association that are donating those to us this morning. We'll also be going to Beam Centauri on Claremont and picking up additional hand sanitizer. We'll get 2 pallets of hand sanitizer a day and probably another 2 Thursday. We're trying to stockpile that a little bit to get ready for the opening of some businesses and for our first responders, medical, doctor's office, dentists, such as that. With the additional PPE supplies that we've gotten in the last 2 weeks since last court meeting, minus what the burn rate is, we're holding at about 3 weeks supply for our first responders throughout the county. So, you know, that if we don't keep trying to get more, we're not getting a lot from Department of Public Health. So we're just reaching out to other places and other associations that may have contacts to try to keep that 3-week supply on hand. That'll be it for the emergency management. Any questions from any guys on any of that?
No, Joe, I'd just like to make a comment, if I could, on the hand sanitizer. If you're in your offices, these are for all department heads and those folks that can, if you're in your offices and your help is there with you, you can wash your hands the old-fashioned way. And that's what I've been doing more than using the hand sanitizer. And say that when you're in a predicament where you don't have a phone to wash your hands. You know, that's what I think on it, Joe, don't you?
I agree, and along with that, Judge, we're going to be starting to see more and more folks using face mask, either cloth face mask or the surgical type mask. Those are not, they can be reused as well for a period of time. And so we don't need folks to think that they need multiples of the surgical mask. A cloth face mask for the general public will work just fine. The whole point here is you're wanting to trap your secretions, not to protect you from other secretions. So we want to keep each individual's secretions within their mask so they're not spreading them. And those cloth masks work fine for that. If you are using surgical masks, use them as long as possible before discarding them.
Oh, Joe, I've had one probably 3 weeks. I've used it probably a dozen or dozen and a half times.
Right.
And it's still clean. I mean, I take care of it.
The main that I think I pointed this out before for folks or the citizens as well. Do not put mask in a plastic bag, a Ziploc bag. That's the worst thing you can do. A paper bag of some sort will absorb the moisture from the mask, and that allows you to be able to reuse it more times.
Thank you, Joe.
Any other questions? I'll move on to the EMS report.
To the bad report.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately.
That happened. By the way, guys, he's going to be getting ready to give you a report on something that just happened in the last few days, and timing of the meetings perfect, but I'll let him describe the problem.
Okay, first of all, let's deal with the monthly report for April. You guys should have had that email to you as well. I did a little bit of comparison. I know we're concerned about low run volume and the revenue being down. So what I did was took the last 3 years, and one of those years, 2017, was a bump year for us. We had several runs that year for whatever reason, but I averaged those 3 years, and then I took April to see how it compared with the average of those 3 years. We're down 20% for April on volume. If I did the same thing for the billable revenues for those 3 years, we're down 26% in billable revenue for those runs. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that we're seeing an increase for probably a fear reason, but we're seeing an increase in calls to residences or that just really want to be assessed by someone medically and minor treatment performed if needed, and then they refuse to be transported. And a lot of that has to go with, I think, the stigma of going to the hospital and maybe being exposed unnecessarily to the virus. So we're getting a lot more incomplete runs because of that. We'll deal with them. We're still providing that service. If they need us, they call us. The last ambulance that we bought, I discussed with the judge. We thought our power cot would just go right over into it. Found out that it's a 10-year-old cot. It does not have the mechanism built into it to fit into this safety, required safety mount that we have to use today. To add that to this cot is about $3,800 parts and labor. And basically, if you're familiar with it adds 2 nadir carriage, which allows it to lock into this mount, but it's an expensive modification. The cot is 10 years old, and the other option we would have is to trade that cot in and have it replaced with a cot that already has the mechanism on it, a newer cot. Although it's a refurb cot, it'd be a newer cot with that. That cost would be $13,000 to do that. So we got $3,800 to retrofit the one we have, or $13,000 just to replace the cot. So we'll need to make a decision on which way you want to go on that.
That's a no-brainer to me.
I have a question on that, Joe, on that trade and replacement cot. Is there a warranty with that?
Yes, there's a year warranty with the new cot.
Okay.
Same
It's
as
not much of a warranty for a $13,000 piece of equipment, is it?
Yeah.
Matthew laughing at me. It just don't make sense. Doesn't make sense. If you don't think anything more of your product than that, why ain't you put it on the market? Go ahead and give us the full scenario here, Joe.
Okay. Last item that I'm sure you've already looked at, Friday, we made a run to Lexington in 2010 Chevrolet. On their way back, the engine failed, had to have it towed back in, had that checked out Saturday and yesterday with American Tire, and I already had a pretty good knowledge of what was probably got a broken crankshaft. So that engine pretty much is done. That truck has 340,000 miles on it. It's been a good one for us. The box is still in excellent shape. But to replace that engine with a complete block, long block, it's going to be about $19,000 with labor. If we keep the heads, I might add, we've already shaved the heads once, the turbo, and do a short block. We're looking at $14,000 for that repair. But like I said, the vehicle got 340,000 miles on it. So I took it on, got real quick, and started doing some research. Reached out to the vendor that we got the last two used trucks from. It's got a pretty nice truck, 2009 pre-def diesel Chevrolet that he wanted $28,900 for, and we got him.
You guys
down.
seen that?
Dean's holding the picture up. I got him down to $28,900 because we've got just dire straits here. He understands that. Then it came to my attention yesterday early that Norton's for Children has a 2009 Chevrolet diesel that they're getting rid of. It's a little bit rougher truck, but they said they would take $11,000 for it. They also indicated it had some transmission issue, and we could take the transmission out of the one that we're pulling off to take care of that problem. So, you know, it's up to the court, and we don't have a lot of surplus funds to be spending on this stuff. Wasn't planning on it. So I'll leave that up to you guys to discuss from there.
Okay, now that they have the whole picture, Joe, it's my recommendation that you buy the $3,800 retrofit for your cot, and then put the most money in on the vehicle that we need.
I have a question on the cot. How old is that cot?
It's 10 years. First power cot we got with the, I think it was Homeland Security money, Judge, back the first, we got two at the same time.
So this cot was 10 years old, and you go add $3,800 onto that to retrofit it, correct?
Not the cot itself, it's the apparatus that goes into the box.
No, this goes on the cot.
It goes on the cot, but it's the purpose is, in the purpose for it to fit in your ambulance though?
Into the mount that we purchased.
It has nothing to do with the functionality of the cot itself, does it, Joe?
No, it's the locking mechanism.
It's just a locking mechanism.
Okay, if I can finish what I was getting to is, will this retrofit fit on another cot? When you're retrofitting it? In other words, if you have another cot, will it retrofit to that cot?
No, it's a permanent.
Yeah.
The cot has to be modified, and it's a permanent. It won't be used again.
Yeah, and you can't just tie it down because of liability purposes.
Well, I mean, if you're going to put $3,800 in, I would suggest go ahead and do the trade and replace for $13,000.
Okay, then what are we gonna do about a truck? We've got about $20,000 to spend in that fund.
They have to kick in some more then.
How much is a new cot?
13 grand, he said.
No, that's
refurbished.
16.5. With the load mechanism, it's from Stryker Companies about 16.5
for a brand new one, and then you want 13.8 for a refurbished.
Refurbished with the same warranty as the
same
new.
warranty though, Keith.
Yeah, but Judge, it's like anything else. I mean, if it's got 350,000 miles on it, man, you know, it's just like a truck or anything else. All the joints are wore out in it. This is going to start happening to it. That's going to start happening to it. I don't know. I'm up for thoughts.
I'm in favor of the $3,800 option, to be honest.
I'm in favor of trade and replace.
Okay, so what are we gonna do about a truck? So you go magically pull another 20 grand out of the air?
You're gonna have to find it from somewhere else.
Blacktop money.
If that be, the citizens' welfare better.
Well, I mean, this has nothing to do with the welfare, that cot's gonna work.
But you're not saying what I'm saying. You're gonna get a trade and replace cot. The old cot may break. This trade and replace will, and refurbished may last a lot longer.
They may break a year and a half down the road too.
Yeah, what's Joe's recommendation? Joe, what would you think?
If we weren't in need of the truck, Gary, I would have went, my whole point was to trade the cot in up until Friday.
Okay.
Looking at our budget and what we've got looking at us, the possibility coming in July, we need the truck to replace the broke down truck. So I think we can get by with retrofitting the current cot. We have a maintenance company that is conducting annual maintenance on our cots and take care of them, you know, keep up on them. It is an older cot. It still works good. I need to put the money in the truck.
Okay, sounds good to me then.
Okay. I can actually spend that much money without court approval on that, but I just we wanted to get your guide, because you may have thought differently, which you did, but no hard feelings. Now, Joe, talk about the truck. What's your recommendation on the truck?
Well, I have a lot of reservations on the Norton's truck being at $11,000, and I've seen it, just pictures, and my recommendation is going to be to go with the vendor that we've used in the past 2 times. A little bit more money, but I think it's a more solid truck, to be honest with you.
Joe, on your 2009 Chevrolet with 212,000 miles on it.
That's a typo, Judge. It's 112,000.
Okay, I thought you said 112.
Yeah.
You guys got that?
Is that the
Yes.
one that has 112?
I'm sorry, Gary.
The 09 that you're looking at, the place we bought the last one. How many miles is it?
112,000. It's got 4,400 engine hours. The Norton's truck is 153,000 miles with 10,700 engine hours.
Is it a diesel, Joe?
Both diesels.
Both diesels. Sorry I didn't get a chance to run this through the committee, but we just got this yesterday afternoon. Didn't we, Joe?
Yeah, I've been working pretty quick on it.
I know, and I'm not blaming you at all.
Oh, no.
I would recommend buying that, the one with 112,000 miles on it.
That one, 25.5, is that correct?
5.9.
25.9.
Okay, and Norton's is 11,000 plus 4,000 plus labor if we put that other transmission in it. So you're probably looking close to 19 to 20 on that one by the time you get it on the road, ready to roll, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Me too.
I agree with the judge, Ian.
And Gary, that truck's going to be down. It's going to take probably 3 weeks to a month to put the transmission in it. The whole truck's going to be down for a whole month.
The transmission can be put in 3 days, but that's beside the
Okay.
I understand.
Now, I don't know. There ain't nothing done in 3 days in this mess.
What's the pleasure of the court?
I'd like to make a motion.
But
What motion to buy the 2009 Chevrolet with 112,000 on it?
Do you want 2 different motions on the card, or do you just go?
No, the cot I don't need a motion on because it's below the $7,500. I just wanted your input on it.
Make the motion by the 2009 Chevrolet from the previous dealer. We bought the last one for $25,900.
Okay, motion's been made by Gary. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Keith. Further discussion? All approve, say aye. Disapprove? Motion will carry. Eric, I guess you said okay. You were standing still here on me.
He must have a headache. He points to his head.
He knows we're talking about him though, Gary. Okay, thank you, Joe.
Thank you,
Anything
guys.
else? Anything else on your report?
I have a question for Joe real quick.
Yes, sir.
Is there any funds that you've heard of coming from federal government for EMS during this crisis?
Judge, you want to respond to that?
Yes, number one, we did get $73,000 or $78,000 last week or so on, I think you reported that at the last court meeting. I talked to Senator McConnell's office last week. They feel comfortable that the senator is coming around to the idea of helping states and counties. There'll be some caveats he's going to try to get on the ability to sue over the virus, but I hope they can get over that. And what we don't want to do is, or the senator doesn't, I would agree with him on this, and I can't believe I said this, that we don't want counties and states profiting off of this money. The first round of stimulus money that went to businesses, there are people that got a lot of that money that never missed a beat on the business side of there, but they took the loan because they knew that they could get some of it forgiven. And so I suggested to our contact with Senator McConnell's office to work through, there's a formula you can use, and he thought it was a pretty good idea. But he says, and I'm quoting now, or paraphrasing, that Senator McConnell's on board of helping us. Now, how far and where will it go, we'll have to see. But it's not that hard. It's not that hard. But now, I will say this. We're down a little bit on runs this month, right, Joe? But March turned out okay as far as revenue. So we'll have a hard-pressed time showing a lot of negativity because of the virus as far as regular runs, right, Joe? Other than
That's what I had
2
to.
weeks.
The second round of stimulus has already been gone out, but this time you have to fill out an application, and it has an audit amount to it based on our actual losses, be it equipment or revenues, that actual losses from the virus, from COVID-19, and that's pretty difficult for us to meet the threshold that they're requiring for this next round.
And see, we have to have a certain threshold. I said the last time I checked, it was close to $200,000 in losses, right, Joe?
Yes.
In that neighborhood. And I don't think we're there.
Okay.
Don't worry.
We're just naturally.
Save them forever, Dean.
I'm sorry?
Somebody said something.
I thought it was Eric. I think Eric was comment.
Eric's got a grin on his face, but
Next time, I'm going to have Eric back here in the courtroom.
he thinks it worked pretty well like this, but go ahead.
Okay, thanks, Joe.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, Judge. That answered my question.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes.
Wait a minute, Judge. Did you say you got $71,000 already?
73, wasn't it, Joe? Yeah.
How come you was wanting to steal our blacktop money a while ago if you got $73,000 already in?
Because Joe's going to need more than we budgeted in his budget right now. Look at him. He knows. Look at that look on his face. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
yes.
But still.
We got another 60 days in this fiscal year. Okay? I know you're messing with me. Jail report. We got Buck here. Can we unloose Buck with his? There you go. Are you there, Buck?
Can you hear?
No. Jessica, can you give us a report? Buck's not coming through, okay? It's probably hard to get anything out of that jail. It's so tight in there. Even like phone calls and stuff.
He's in the next room.
we're not getting anything. I do have the jail population report here. I suppose that Buck probably emailed you guys that. Not, I will send it to you. It looks like they've got, let me see the totals here. 76 inmates right now. Is that right? Somebody, Buck or Jessica?
That's the lowest.
That's pitiful. I hate these meetings. Just for the record, Jeanette, you can put it, the judge does not like these meetings. I'm showing 76 total inmates, which is down even from the last court meeting. Okay, we'll move on then. We can't get through. Recreation report, Bryce.
Yeah, so the sports fields at Dean Watts Park are still closed. Only thing open there are the walking trails. The playgrounds are still shut down as well, and they're shut down at Culvertown and Balltown too. Little League Baseball, they're still in hopes of having some type of season, but they've actually started refunding money back to the kids.
Okay. And we'll get further guidance on that to the governor's office as we move into the late spring, early summer months. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I came by the park the other day on and it was great.
What was that, Gary? It looked great.
Fields at Dean Watts Park, they're mowed and stuff.
Yeah. And Bryce cleaned the fences and did some landscaping.
Very good.
That's good. Under old and new business, discussed briefly with a couple of you individually last week. When businesses start opening back up, there could be a shortage of masks and hand sanitizers and so forth. The mayor had recommended maybe we get our heads together and see if we can find a vendor for some of those goods. Well, that wasn't as easy as it sounded like. And of course, the Chamber of Commerce is in the middle of that right now, trying to get those goods where they can sell, especially the mask and hand sanitizers, to those in the business world that need certain equipment. And standard non-medical masks are a little easier to come by than the medical masks are. So we're hoping that the Chamber will take up some of that slack. I'll keep you guys posted on that progress, and we'll see what the mayor. We've actually had a vendor, as Joe pointed out. The McCoy family had a contact initially on some, and then we've got another contact through another vendor right now. We're trying to see what something like that would cost. But I haven't got the details to share with you today, but I will keep you posted. Anybody have any questions on that from the magistrates? Comments?
Yeah, I got a bunch.
Are they still saying May the 11th?
Next Monday will be opening on certain businesses, yes. And you got the list that you can go on the Kentucky coronavirus website and see what you can do, what you can't do. But I'm sad to report there's still no haircuts till later in the month. Unless you cut your own, Metcalf. Okay. Any other old new business before we go into the budget report? Okay, move on. You guys were presented a copy of a budget at our last court meeting. Something I failed to put in the budget, and I want to talk to you guys about it, get your input. You know, the fairgrounds right now is down where they cannot rent the properties out. They've already canceled the fairs like so many other communities are doing around the state. Almost every county judge I've talked to, we had a conference call the other day with the judges, and many of them already canceled their fairs, and I recommend to this board to cancel as well. I think they're going to do a press release on that shortly. But they're still going to need to pay their insurance and their utility bills. So I'm going to recommend on page 18 of the general fund budget that there is a line item that talks about fairgrounds. We've helped them in the past to add $10,000 to that as assistance that will go to them. Then they pay the bills out of that fund. Try to keep that separation still the way it's been, the best we can for a little while, and see how they pan out for the next 2 or 3 months. You know, they did generate a little money from that renting of Samuel's Hall when, and that alone kind of pays a few of the bills. Everybody understanding that?
Yeah, you're talking about 10,000 additional?
Right now, yeah, I'd only had 1,000, and I believe off the top of my memory there, Jeff.
Right.
Yeah, 10,000, a total of 10,000. We'll make it 9,000 additional.
I don't have any problem with that, Liz. I think that's.
I just, you know, we got to help each other while we're all down and out and moving forward, if we want to move forward, and it is county's property.
Yeah.
Also, Rhonda gave me a new number, gonna give me a new number on page 20. Rhonda, I think that number is about 147,563. That might be adjusted a little bit to the size of the final budget for the landfill to transfer to the general fund. That is page 20. Of course, I know I'm talking about this. Ma'am?
From landfill.
From landfill to general fund on page 20.
You got a good number there, Rhonda?
I'm looking.
I meant to mention that to you this morning, Ron. I'm sorry, but the initial number you gave me is 147,563, but that will be adjusted based on the size total of the budget.
I've got it at 172.
Okay. That's better. Everybody plug 172 instead of 200 there. I will say on the revenue side of the distilled spirits tax, we're budgeting that at 925. Irregardless, so we've taken in 971 this year. We want a little cushion there. You know, 1 or 2 warehouses emptied out can make a big difference on the revenue side. So we're going to leave that at 925. And Rhonda and I have had a little, we got a little bet going on our carryover revenue. If you go to the front page, on the front page where it says the sum budget summary, down at the bottom of the page, estimated for July 1st is $1.586 million. You know, we'll have a better handle on that in early June. That may adjust a little bit as we move forward with the budget process. That's another 2 weeks away. The road fund, the county road aid on page 21 of 45, that was adjusted down as you just approved the co-op. I'm just kind of highlighting some changes here that from this time and last time I discussed this. If you have any questions, jump in, please. You know, with Buck, with your inmate population down, and what I've been told by the corrections people so far, that's going to be for several months, and even into the new budget year. So we'll have to try to monitor that and hopefully adjust those costs as the inmate population's about half what it was. Now, and the assumptions that I spoke of last time, I put 3% there in salaries. That doesn't mean you guys have to give a 3% raise. That means when we come back to do the pay rate order, if we can ever get together, look at Jeff grinning at me, if we can never get together, then we'll try to discuss that from the personnel committee. And I would like to always try to tie that as closely to the health insurance and other benefits that we provide. Any questions from the magistrates?
I don't have any questions. I went through it pretty thoroughly. Seems to be typical Judge Watt's budget on revenues and little worried about the expenses. I don't think they're going to come to fruition, but I think there's a lot of wiggle room in here. And,
Oh, yes.
just a
What
budget.
was that, Jeff?
Yes, and it's important, I think, to remind people that it's just kind of fungible there. We can move stuff around. I think it's always better to be conservative than it is to not have enough at the end. It's pretty good to me. I don't have a lot of questions about any of them. But,
Bernard, do you have any questions?
No questions for me.
Okay. Keith, if you, again, from now to our next court meeting, if you have any questions, we can adjust it because we're not going to hold the first reading until the second meeting in May. Gary, you have any questions there? Eric?
No, sir, I agree with Jared. The way to go. Looks pretty good to me.
And again, we'll monitor that as we go forward. It is just a working document. No further questions on the budget, then I'll ask the magistrates if they have anything else they want to discuss under old or new business one more time.
I don't have anything, Judge.
And Jessica and Buck, if you have any questions, obviously we can't hear you, but please. Buck, was that you?
Yes, can you hear us now? We finally got it working here.
Okay, yeah. Give us your report, please.
All right, as of this morning, we had 76 total inmates in jail. 49 of them are state, 27 are county, have 21 waiting for circuit court cases, 6 for district, a total of 71 males and 5 females. And everything's clear. We don't have no corona in the jail, thank God.
Well, you've done a great job, Jessica and Buck, both of you on that. Sure have. Hey, Matthew, you were saying something, but you were muted.
No, Judge, that's fine. I'm good. Thanks, though.
Okay. Buck, Jessica, any comments on the budget, Buck?
Well, we got the report from Rhonda this morning, so it looks like we are in line to hopefully be under budget again this year. I know it was proposed that our budget for 2020 fiscal court would have to provide $1.4 million. But as we did last year, we came in at $1,186,000, which was under the 1.5 that was proposed. So hopefully, we're going to be around the 1.2 again, and not be, coming in above that.
Yeah, but you understand why we have to take the worst case scenario, Jessica.
Oh, I understand. I'm just saying we're trying to manage and stay down to the court.
I appreciate it.
More.
I appreciate that. But we're going to hit pretty close to the 1.3 or 4 this year, aren't we, Jessica?
Well, it looks like right now we're at 85% on our income, and we're only at 80% on the budget. So I'm hoping we're going to save some money this year also.
Well, keep your fingers crossed. Okay, thank you all.
Judge, I got
yes.
Thing real quick. I made a call to the vendor real quick to let him know we were interested in the truck and would he take 25 for it. He said, sure, you're all a good customer. So we saved another $900. Oh,
good. Good. You stay on that phone for another half an hour or so. It won't hurt the thing.
Those telling me you're in a meeting, and they're going 24. Most of them.
Yeah, tell him.
He's come down $4,900. I probably $3,900. So I probably risked it.
Tell him to throw in the striker cop.
Hey, Joe, you'll go there and look at that piece of equipment to assure it, or somebody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Before we actually make a purchase.
Yeah. Yeah. You're good about that. Yeah. We've been doing that for how many years, Joe?
Wow.
I've sent you all over the country.
Yeah.
You've done a great job, you and Eva both.
Well, thank you, sir.
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Bernard got you, Jeff. He's first. Will you second?
We got lunch ready or something.
Will you second, Jeff?
Yes, I'll second.
A second by Jeff Lear. All approved, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove. Motion carries. Jeanette, we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Good day.
development